The sea stretched endlessly under a sky painted in shades of orange and pink. Waves crashed against the sturdy wooden ship, rocking it gently as the sails fluttered in the wind. A lone figure stood at the helm, gripping the wheel with determination. This was Pirate Tom, a young adventurer with a heart full of dreams and a spirit hungry for treasure. "Today is the day, Coco," Tom said, glancing at the small parrot perched on his shoulder. "We're finally going to find the legendary treasure of the Phantom Island." Coco ruffled his feathers. "Aye, but first, you must read the map correctly." Tom unrolled a tattered parchment, covered in strange markings. He squinted, trying to make sense of the words written in bold letters. "Go north, then turn right." His brow furrowed. "North? Right? What does that mean?" Coco sighed. "Looks like we have some learning to do." Tom stared at the words on the map, feeling a mix of excitement and confusion. The letters were clear, but their meaning was a mystery. He traced his finger along the path drawn in ink, following the winding lines that led to an X marked deep in the heart of an island. Coco hopped onto the map, tilting his head. Go north means move up. Turn right means, well, turn right. Tom crossed his arms. Move up, but the sea has no up or down. Coco flapped his wings. Not up like the sky. North is a direction. Look at the sun, it sets in the west. If you know west, you can find north. Tom glanced at the horizon, watching the golden sun sink into the waves. If that was west, then north must be. He spun in place, pointing straight ahead. There, that must be north. Coco nodded approvingly. Now you're thinking like a real pirate. Tom turned to his crew, 3 scruffy men who were busy tying ropes and checking supplies. All right, men, set sail to the north. The ship creaked as it changed course. The sails caught the wind, and they surged forward across the open sea. Tom grinned, feeling the thrill of adventure in his chest. But just as he was beginning to feel confident, a thick layer of fog rolled in, swallowing the ship in a blanket of white. The horizon disappeared, and the wind grew eerily quiet. Tom clutched the map. I can't see anything. How will we know we're still going north? Coco puffed out his chest. That's why you need to understand directions, Captain. Let's see if you can figure it out. Chapter 3, the central event, 600 words. The fog thickened, wrapping around the ship like a ghostly veil. Tom could barely see past the mast. The once steady breeze had weakened, leaving the sails slack. The ship drifted forward, but without a clear view, Tom felt lost. He gripped the map tightly. We have to keep going north, but how do we know which way that is if we can't see the sun? Coco ruffled his feathers. A good pirate always has a trick. Use the compass. Tom blinked. The compass? Coco pointed his beak toward a brass instrument hanging near the wheel. Tom grabbed it and watched as the small red needle spun before settling in one direction. The red needle always points north, Coco explained. Tom exhaled in relief. So if I keep the ship moving in that direction, we'll stay on course. The ship continued forward, cutting through the fog. But just as Tom was beginning to feel confident again, a dark shape loomed in the mist. A jagged rock, barely visible, jutted out of the water ahead. Turn right. Turn right. Coco squawked. Tom reacted instantly, spinning the wheel to the right. The ship groaned as it veered sharply. Waves crashed against the hull, but they narrowly avoided the rocks. "That was close," Tom muttered. Coco nodded. "And now you've learned something important. Turn right means move the ship to the right," Tom grinned. "I won't forget that." The fog began to lift, revealing a dense jungle island in the distance. Tom checked the map again. "We need to go straight ahead from here." "That means go straight," Coco interrupted. Tom laughed. "Exactly." With the ship back on course, they sailed toward the island. As they neared the shore, the crystal-clear water shimmered, revealing a shallow reef. Tom slowed the ship, dropping anchor near the beach. Tom and his crew climbed down into a rowboat, paddling toward land. The island was alive with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. Palms swayed in the wind, and vines hung from towering trees. Tom unfolded the map once more. "We need to find the hidden cave. The map says, walk south for 20 steps, then turn left." He scratched his head. "Wait, we were going north before. So, south must be the opposite." Coco beamed. "You're catching on fast." Tom turned around, facing away from the ocean. He began counting his steps, moving deeper into the jungle. His boots crunched over fallen leaves, and vines brushed against his arms. After 20 steps, he paused. "Now, turn left," he murmured. He turned his body and found himself facing a thick wall of trees. A path stretched beyond them, leading into the darkness of the jungle. "This must be the way," Tom said, stepping forward. But just as he took his first step, a wooden sign caught his eye. Carved into the surface were the words, "Danger. Go back." Tom froze. His crew exchanged uneasy glances. The jungle ahead was silent to silent. Coco's voice was steady. "What does the sign say, Captain?" Tom read the words again. "It says, go back. That means we shouldn't go this way," Coco nodded. "And what should we do when we see a sign like that?" Tom hesitated. The map showed that the treasure was this way, but the warning seemed serious. "Be careful," Tom said slowly. "We need to find another way." Coco flapped his wings approvingly. "Exactly. A smart pirate always thinks before moving forward." Tom studied the map again, searching for another path. The adventure was far from over. Chapter 4 Educational Analysis 300 words. Tom stood at the jungle's edge, staring at the warning sign. His heart raced. The path ahead might lead to treasure or to danger. He turned to Coco. "Let's go over everything we've learned so far." Coco nodded. "Good idea, Captain. First, how did we find our way on the ship?" Tom thought for a moment. "We used the compass to go north. And when we saw the rocks, we had to turn right." "Exactly." Coco flapped his wings. "And once we reached the island, we followed the map's instructions," Tom said, pointing at the parchment. "We walked south for 20 steps, then had to turn left." Coco tilted his head. "And what did the sign say?" Tom looked back at the rough wooden board. The carved letters were clear. "Danger. Go back." "It told us to go back," Tom said. "That means we shouldn't go forward." "Right," Coco nodded. "And one more important phrase." Tom thought for a second. Then his eyes lit up. "Be careful," Coco smiled. "Aye, Captain. Those words could save a pirate's life." Tom looked at the map again. "We've learned a lot today. Go north, turn right, go straight, go back, be careful." These words helped us navigate the sea and land. Coco hopped onto his shoulder. "And now, let's use them to find another way to the treasure." Tom nodded. He wasn't just a pirate anymore, he was a pirate who knew how to follow directions in English. And that was just as valuable as any treasure. With a determined grin, he turned to his crew. "Let's find a new path." The journey wasn't over yet. Chapter 5, expanding the learning within the story. 300 words. Tom studied the map carefully, tracing his finger over the winding lines. The original path was blocked, but there had to be another way. "There," he said, pointing to a second trail marked with dotted lines. "If we go around the jungle instead of through it, we can still reach the cave." Coco nodded. "Smart thinking. What does the map say?" Tom read aloud. "Go west for 10 steps, then turn right." He turned to his crew. "Everyone, follow me. We go west first." The men obeyed, stepping carefully over roots and rocks. Tom counted each step. At 10, he stopped. "Now we turn right," he announced. They followed the curve of the path, moving deeper into the jungle. The dense trees began to thin, and soon they reached the entrance of a dark cave. "This is it," Tom whispered. He checked the map one last time. "Go straight inside." Coco fluttered nervously. "Be careful, Captain." Tom took a deep breath and stepped forward. The cave walls were cool and damp. His boots echoed against the stone floor. At the very end, something gleamed in the dim light. Tom rushed forward and brushed away the dust. A wooden chest sat before him, its gold trim shining. He pulled it open only to find a small, rolled-up parchment inside. Unrolling it, he read the words written in elegant script. "Good job, pirate Tom. The real treasure is your new English skills." Tom blinked. Then he laughed. "Maybe this isn't gold, but it's just as valuable." Coco beamed. "You've learned directions, Captain. Now you'll never be lost again." Tom smiled. "And that's a treasure I'll always keep." Chapter 6, inspiring conclusion. 150 words. Tom stood in the cave, holding the parchment. He had sailed through fog, avoided dangerous rocks, followed the map's directions, and now he understood something important. Knowing how to navigate was just as valuable as finding treasure. He turned to his crew. "We didn't find gold, but we found something even better. We learned how to use directions in English." Coco nodded. "And now you can explore anywhere in the world." Tom grinned. "That's right. If I ever get lost, I know how to go north, turn right, go straight, and go back when needed." He tucked the parchment into his pocket. Every great pirate needs knowledge. And today, we became even greater. He stepped out of the cave, feeling the warm sun on his face. The journey had changed him, not just as a pirate, but as a learner. Looking at the horizon, he smiled. On to the next adventure.